Hey guys, I know I've been MIA for a while. I totally intend to vlog today and keep up with the day though. I mentioned before in a lot of my other videos that I eat clean, and a lot of my grocery hauls show a lot of foods that are organic as well as just one ingredient type foods. And one of the reasons I do that is because of my health. Now, I got sick last week, but when Mother's Day came around and towards the end of the sickness, I totally gave up and just started eating some things I shouldn't have been eating. They were still homemade, but they were still things that affected me. And that is why I eat clean. Today I woke up with a headache, sort of feeling like a hangover. And when I eat something that my body doesn't like, I don't feel sick the first day I eat it. It progressively gets worse over 3 days. So the first day I get a mild headache. The second day it's more intense. And the third day in the morning, it's really bad. Sometimes it could be like a migraine. And by the fourth day, the symptoms start to go away, but it doesn't feel good to feel sick. So like I said, I wake up with the headaches, but also my hands and my feet start hurting. My digestive system starts messing up. I start feeling fatigue. It's just a whole lot of mess, but that's one of the reasons why I eat the way I eat and why I feed my family the way I feed my family, is because I don't want to feel like that. I want to be all I can be without being dragged down from the effects of the foods. And that's another reason why we are gardening heavily this year, and hopefully it will continue in the future. They're fighting over the baby.
So you should give me kissies.
Anyways, it's time for my breakfast. I was going to make myself a casserole, but my sweetheart over here, that one. So I'm going to sit down right now and eat my breakfast, and then hopefully I'm going to do some meal prepping today as well as gardening. There's rain in our forecast, so I don't know if we're going to get out there and be able to do that. We'll see what happens. I wanted to show y'all something. We bought an incubator and we are hatching out some of our own baby chicks. Since we're gardening, Jocelyn took up reading, and I purchased this book a while back, the Vegetable Gardener's Bible, and it is a really, really good book if you're looking for gardening tips. We also have an organic gardening book that is really, really good. I'll leave those down in the description if you're interested in them, and you can go check them out on Amazon. But honestly, you can search 50 videos and still not get all the information in this book or the other book. And it's just better to have it at your hands when you want it, and you have to go searching and watch tons of videos. I like to watch YouTube, guys. I'm a YouTuber, but I enjoy YouTube. I don't think it's bad to eat is wheat, but for some reason my body does not tolerate it very well. It makes my hormones mess up. My son wants me. And it right now, because I'm breastfeeding, it completely messes with my milk supply. And when I eat wheat, my milk supply tanks. So that is a big thing I need to stay away from. And also, dark chocolate for some reason makes my baby's tummy hurt. I completely forgot about that. I had stopped eating it, and I picked it up a couple days ago for 2 days in a row. And she had been crabby, and I couldn't figure out why until last night when I sat down and really, really thought about it. And I felt really bad, so I'm gonna stop eating that too. So the boys over there are gonna move that chicken coop. We're trying to get them to line graze on the pasture to turn the grass more green and bring back our giant Bermuda, because right now it's full of weeds, and my husband, he shredded and baled, but it was just not as successful as he wanted it to because of the equipment he just got and was learning it, and it needs some repair work. And he did it to it, but then the rain came. And so now there's still some clippings and stuff in the field that needs to be raked up. And here my girls are cleaning out this patch here. So we were babysitting those chickens over there for about 6 months. And he let us borrow a rooster. So that's how we are hatching out some of their eggs. And I have a mixture here. That's a buff Orpington. Some black Australorps here. Americanas. I don't know what these two are, I think. I don't remember their name. A friend gave us these, that's right. So I don't know what these are called, but if I figure it out, I will let you know. But my favorite are the black Australorps because they're dual purpose. They're meat chickens as well as egg layers. And then over here, I have this lavender buff Orpington. I think that's what that is. I could be wrong. That one cost me a pretty penny. I actually got a few of them, but some died. And then here, I sowed seeds directly in the ground. I should say I had my son do it. I bought this really cool cedar and made these really nice rows, and stuff is popping up. These are my green beans. And then over here, I don't see much yet. We'll see if anything grows. So in some of these spots, things didn't survive. I honestly think I do really well when I directly sow into the ground compared to when I transplant. I transplanted that over a month ago, and that's how big that is. And some of these were transplanted from my garden, and they started out growing from outside, just in an area, and this is how big they are. So I think I'm just gonna directly sow in the ground. I need to get some seeds in here though and get stuff growing. See those tomato plants there? They're doing really well. Here's another teeny tiny one that got transplanted a long time ago. There. I need to get this grass out. That's a weed. There's a tomato plant. I have a ton of different types of tomatoes growing. So I'm super excited to see what they yield. Peppers, and I think that's what these are that are staying teeny tiny. Some peppers. There's another tomato plant. Look, it has a flower. Awesome. That one didn't make it for some reason. But we'll come back and weed in there. Look at these beautiful green beans. Now this whole row is sowed, so I don't know why those aren't popping up, but the rain should give us a ton. Here, I'll show you the difference here too. So I transplanted this and this, and these are the ones that were directly sown. They're much stronger and sturdier, while these just sort of fall over. That's a bug. But yeah. And then this is what I wanted to come outside and check. I transplanted these as well, and they're a little stressed. Definitely, probably not all gonna make it, but these are different types of melons. And here, right here, we have Tasty, Sherbert, Hybrid Melon. That one is Torpedo, F1 Hybrids Melon. Anyways, they're in here, and we'll see how they do. This one's, I mean, look, you can see a little bit of sun damage. That's why I say if I directly sow, I don't have to deal with all this. They're just automatically acclimated to the weather outside. And these are my peas I transplanted. Very pathetic looking, haven't grown any. This has been over 2 weeks they've been outside. So I had my son sow some, and I hope he did them in the right spots. And we'll see how they do. Most of the plants inside of these holes that we had that were some watermelons didn't make it. So we shall see. But my hope is for these to grow up, and we can put them, attach them to these trellises and grow them upright instead of on the ground. See, we don't have a lot, but definitely need to come outside and put some seeds directly in the ground. These are doing amazing. These are cantaloupe and cucumbers. And this is zucchini. It's a teeny one. Look at that small one. I did order some staples to put more staples in this, but they haven't gotten here. I need to check because that was over 2 weeks ago. Things are a little slower in the mail these days. With everything happening right now, I really feel like it's important for us to know how to garden, how to produce our own foods, especially with the meat shortages and then putting restrictions on things you can buy. I mean, I live in Texas, but of course we read all the news and know that the governor wasn't letting people buy seeds because it was not essential. But what would it have hurt? That's too much control, too much power, in my opinion. They're on their new piece of grass, and this is what they've done for us so far, eating it up. And this is where they started back here. And I'm super hopeful it'll grow back nice and lush. But it's gonna be a while before we get this entire 10 acres. run over by this chicken tractor. Anyways, these are the chickens we are sitting. But we get to keep all the eggs, and the owner of them is providing all of their feed and anything else that they need. He also built this really cool, simple chicken coop here out of a bunch of leftover wood he had, and it's really light. And he put it on some wheels and it just rolls around. So my sickness completely started out like allergies last week, and I was just like taking allergy pills. My eyes were extremely itching, and oh, it was just awful on my nose, and I had constant drainage, and I could not figure out what was wrong. I was so frustrated and irritated. I was like, nothing is working, and my other two sons were having the same symptoms, and it finally hit me like, you're sick. It is not allergies. Thankfully, we really don't go anywhere, so not exposing the whole world to ourselves. And I had stomach issues. It was really, really bad. I was so irritated with everything that I just kind of locked myself in my room for a couple of days and was like, I just can't do this. I'm tired. And when I was taking these naps, I was thinking like, I'm just being lazy, but I was really sick. Here is another section of a garden that we have going on, and this is our lettuce. And I transplanted my elderberries, and it doesn't look like this one's gonna make it. This one maybe has a chance. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep watering and hope for the best. My carrots are doing pretty good, and a ton of lettuce. We've been sharing this with our neighbors and friends, and the onions are still doing really good. And here's a look at our pigs. They're using the new house we made them. They moved out of there. That's the old one. But that one's bigger, so I'm sure that's why they're both in there. And it's probably more in the shade compared to that one. And over here we have our goats. And my husband put up this cross fence here so they can stay away from the barn because it's falling over and we're trying to disassemble it. But, so last time I think I left y'all with, we had a bunch of new baby goats. And we sold a bunch of them. We have her left. We sold her brother. And we just figured it was a really good time to sell them since we knew we weren't going to keep them. And we could get the most money for what they're worth right now that they're newborn. So they did leave us as bottle babies, but the people that took them understood that they were going to have to feed these baby goats with the bottle. And I'm going to go in here. Now this is Sassy. She is my Nubian boar mix, and she's a really good milker. She produces a lot of milk, and that's why I keep her. She's also very mean to other goats, and that's why Sassy lives by herself. Over here we have Sanctuary City for these goats to keep them from her. Here we have Honey Bun, and Honey Bun gave us 2 baby boys. She's a mini La Mancha, and that one over there is her baby, the little white one. We sold his brother. And then the little brown one is Ladies. That's her baby. She had 2 babies, a brown one and a black one, and we sold the black one. And then we also, from this batch, when I bought these mini Nigerian dwarfs, we had a total of 6, and I sold 2. I sold the 2 white ones because people just really liked them and wanted them, and they were going to give me a pretty good deal for them. Look at Charlotte. Isn't she so pretty? Charlotte, come here, beautiful. Well, I wanted to show y'all, the buck's horn is falling off there, as you can see. It's a little bloody, but it does not bleed terribly bad, and that's pretty much going to be the end of that horn once it completely falls off. And then the other one will come off shortly. Then over here, this Cookies and Cream looking one, that's her name, Cookies and Cream. We kept her, and then we kept Sassy's baby from before this time that she kidded. I love her. You see she's missing a horn, guys. It came off, and we're just waiting for that last one to fall off. This one right here, Snow White. See that? She looks like a unicorn. This is what the vets did to Sassy's horns. I mean, she looks all wonky. I don't like it. She has some bands on her horns too, so I'm not sure when they're gonna fall off, but it's gonna be really soon too. The reason we're dehorning our goats is because we had a buck and he got his head stuck in the back fence, and some dogs that were just roaming around decided to maul him to death. They just ripped out his neck and they left him there, and it was a complete waste. It was really sad. It was really sad. A lot of us were sad. Our goats, even though we use them for milk, they are semi-pets. We do care about them, we love them, and we want them to have a good life, and we feel like we failed them in some ways by not being able to protect them. We had them in our fenced area. It's a fence inside of a fence, and the dogs were just walking through and saw him helpless there with his head stuck in the fence because he couldn't get back because his horns were too big and he needed help. And we were too late when we came out and found him. He was already dead. So that's why we are dehorning our goats, and especially Snow White. Snow White gets her head stuck in the fence at least 3 times a week, at least. So it's going to be good for her to not have any horns. We had them in the front of the property, and we had also tried to dehorn her before, and the bands came off, and this time we were successful. So she's not going to have any horns, thankfully. He's stuck. Meh. Are you stuck? Oh no. So Sassy runs away from us, and I hate that her baby is learning that because that's a girl and we're gonna milk her. One thing we are gonna do is we're gonna start separating the baby goats and putting them in this little run here. It's open on both sides. And we are gonna play with them a little more, handle them a little more, but also milk their mamas in the morning and then give them back to their moms throughout the day, and they can nurse until the end of the day again. Repeat. But yeah, that's what we have going on right now. It's been pretty busy. I've been out of commission for a week, so I feel like I've missed out on a lot, but my kids have been super helpful. They've weeded the garden. They've moved chicken tractors. They just take care of things when I ask them to. They're super sweet. They're also working on the back of the property right now. They finished the front. They are taking out mesquite from the property, and their daddy's gonna pay them, so they're super excited about that. So when I was sick, Jedediah started getting a fever, and I was watching Dr. Paul. I don't know if any of y'all watch him. If you don't, I'll leave a link to his channel. Super amazing doctor, gives a lot of tips and just shares real life doctor situations about pediatrics. And he shared that he had a family during this whole COVID-19 thing, that there were people that were sick and he just couldn't figure out what it was. And so he told them to use a nebulizer with colloidal silver, and they were better in about 24 hours. So I was like, well, Jedediah's got a fever and I have a nebulizer, I have colloidal silver, so I'm gonna try it. So we tried it, and sure enough, the next day he was completely better. Nothing was wrong with him. There was no fever, anything. It was pretty awesome. All right, guys, I'll see you on my next video. Y'all take care. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. See y'all later.